blank.
It's better to have little, that there's blessings of God, that you have much more, that there's no blessings of God.
But people need to see, know, and hear.
When you return that money, you hear the message.
Whatever is not yours, even if you kill yourself, it will not come. That's my opinion.
So do share the facts on Hard Fact.
Hard Fact.
Hard Fact. 3 to 6 p.m. Live on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Hard Facts. Hard Facts.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, Abuja. I am Joseph Majesty or Jochegbe. You might know me as the winner of Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Student Debate Competition 2025. And I'll be your host today on Hard Facts with Mrs. Kimberly.
Yeah. All right. I am co-anchoring this segment of the show with Joseph Majesty. How are you, Joseph?
I'm fine.
How you day? You not speak pidgin? Not really.
I did fine.
That is good to know. So has it been with you all this week since you won?
Since I won the I Beg to Differ debate, It has been adventurous, exciting, focusing on school and preparing for ahead of Lagos.
Yeah, the national is coming up much later in the year. It's a big deal, and I'm glad that you're preparing for that. It's good to see you, though. Happy Children's Day.
I say same to you.
You know, we're almost the same height. How would you not say, would you say same to me? Like, he came in, I was like, wasn't this guy, like, in diapers the last time he was here and he won this? And now we're almost the same height. It's okay. I'm someone's child. So, yeah.
Happy Children's Day.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, so together we'll take you through this segment of the show, The Big Three, as we look at some of the big stories driving conversation. And the president actually had something for children. So we'll get to look at what he said as we look at some of the big stories. So Abuja, if you're ready for a winner to take over the show today, then you're good to go. And we'll do this up until the top of the hour. And then much later, we'll look at other stories also. So let's start off with the story, the Children's Day message the president had. Can you share that with us, Joseph?
Okay, here we have President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to safeguarding the rights and well-being of Nigerian children, declaring them as the pride and future of our great nation, in an address to mark the 2025 International Children's Day. Speaking on Tuesday, the president, in a statement he personally signed, highlighted the urgent need for collective action to tackle bullying, violence, and neglect affecting millions of children across the country. With up to 35% of school-aged children in Nigeria reportedly experiencing some form of bullying. Tinubu unveiled a series of bold initiatives to strengthen child protection frameworks, promote safe learning environments, and ensure that no Nigerian child is left behind. In his message, which aligned with this year's theme, Stand Up, Speak Up, Building a Bullying-Free Generation, the president called on families, schools, communities, and the government to work together in building a safer, more nurturing Nigeria for the next generation.
Yeah, it sounds like a very good message from the president for Children's Day. I mean, there are certain key areas he looked at, which is tackling bullying. Is bullying pretty much it's a big issue in Nigeria, right? Yes. You know, I watch foreign movies and then you see like violent level of bullying? Do we have that much, that bad in our schools today?
We do actually, especially in government schools.
Ah.
Even some cases of cultism where students are sometimes they will be robbed in daylight of their lunch money and stuff like that.
These things happen now?
They do.
Well, look at me sounding as if I did not go to a Nigerian school. I went to a boarding school, and there used to be that level of bullying, and then they would take things off of you.
Yes.
Take your food, take your snacks, and all of that. But when I went to FGCB, that it wasn't that pronounced. There can be all that kind of punishment, but it was still there. I mean, I had to fight. The only time I fought my entire life. I'm not telling you the detail of that story. The only time I fought my entire life was as a result of bullying. A classmate of mine was literally bullying my younger sister. She was a troublemaker, a rubber rouser. So she wanted to teach her a lesson. So I just had to uphold the family honor. I know you will not believe it. I don't look like much of a fighter, but it needed to be done. It was not an easy task, but we needed to make a statement because that was their level of bullying at that particular point in time. So yeah, it's a good one. So they take money off of students. Then who do you have like a structure now in schools where you can even report these things?
Yes, like the SEVCOM officers, you can actually report to them right in a secret SEVCOM box. People don't actually know who you are, but you just explain who's doing this to you. So we have that in schools.
Now that's good because sometimes you see movies and then it feels like you can't even tell your parents that you're being bullied. You can't tell the school authority they're being bullied because of the threat that is there. So keeping this one anonymous will not just really know who is telling, and then they will tackle it. And do they tackle it effectively?
They do tackle it effectively, but it has not stopped.
I know, right? You can't stop overnight. And I think it was amplified when there was a particular school in Guarimpa where there was an extreme case of bullying and the video went viral. Remember that story?
The one that the Minister of Women Affairs
had to wade in.
Yes.
That's the same story, but like just hitting the girl and all of that. And then they took it quite seriously. And the school had to put out a statement and said there will be disciplinary action. And one would think that's even enough to send chills around schools to end and reduce bullying. But it's not reduced.
It isn't actually.
Yeah. So the president put out in his statement, says there's a collective action to tackle bullying, violence, and neglect affecting millions of children across the country. I'm a little curious what the collective action is on the part of the president, what they are really doing to say beyond words, because these are words.
Yes.
So what is the collective action? I know shortly after that, they tried to come up with legislations and policies to see how they can end bullying in schools. It's left for us to see if it has crystallized into something real that, programs that schools can work with in partnership with the government to end bullying and all of that. Well, just Majesty says it's still happening, and it tells you that more efforts need to be put in at that time. And he also talked about neglect affecting millions of children across the country. And one of the biggest neglect, aside from children who are hawking, the children who are begging, children out on the street fending for themselves. And we do have a staggering figure of this number of children, don't we? Yeah. I mean, you get to see them, don't you? Sometimes. Yes. How do you even feel when you see younglings like yourself, hustling out on the street, and you just know that you have parents to look out for you?
It pains me deeply that children like me that are supposed to be receiving education are out doing what they're not supposed to do. It isn't really conducive, especially at their young age. Because it really affects them when they grow up. They didn't have that chance to meet with peers, learn, and that might make them substandard in the society. They won't be able to get good jobs. It will definitely limit them.
Indeed. I mean, these things are psychological. By the time you come out of a society and an environment where you just feel unloved and unworthy, based on how you had to provide for yourself, it affects the psyche. It affects your emotional, mental belief in yourself. That you just feel like, nobody cares about me. I'm inadequate. I can't do much. It can give you that level of complex that I totally can see that. I actually read an article. It wasn't a book, an article sometime, and how it actually affects children. And then grow up, they really do not have that much confidence in themselves, and it affects their work, it affects them in relationship, it affects how, if they do get married, how they interact with their children. Just a very few of them manage to live like a complete life and not feel like something is missing. And you know how it is, they talk about children who either have suffered neglect, domestic abuse, or extreme bullying. They also become perpetrators of this.
Yeah.
because they just see it as a way of life. Like, hey, it was done to me. I bet you've heard that before.
Yes, I've heard that.
Just like it was done to me. That's how I grew up. You know, Nigerians, they always do this thing back in the day when people they don't know that they are victims of abuse. I'm like, do you know how they trained me? They used to flog me very well. Exactly. I was like, dude, oh boy, you went through serious abuse back then. It's not the standard. They used to flog me. Look at me now. I say, look at you, what? You're not well adjusted. So you can't be flogging people all around. So there are actually people who go around not knowing that, they've been altered based on, their life experiences and all. So it's a good thing that the president put that in his message. And the theme is stand up, speak up, building a bullying-free generation. And the president has called on families, schools, communities, the government to work together in building a safer, more nurturing Nigeria for the next generation. I'm glad that he added the government too, because I was thinking, he left government out, but then he started, it was a good thing that he started with family. The family is the bedrock, right?
Yeah. Charity begins at home.
Yeah, that summarizes it. Charity begins at home. It starts from that very small nuclear setup that you have, and then the child takes whatever you have formed and instilled in him or her to their school environment. The teachers and the school will add theirs. The larger community, back then they will say it takes a village to raise a child. Do they still do village to raise a child?
Do they? I don't think so.
I don't think so. He beat somebody's child unauthorized. You know that there's no village to raise anything nowadays. And then the government policies, the government initiative, the government programs, all of these together would give the future for, better future for the Nigerian child. But sadly, in the country at the moment, we still have lots of out-of-school children. We still have children who go to bed hungry. We still have high rate of children who are malnourished in the country. So it shows that both family, schools, community, and the government have not done enough to build a safer, more nurturing Nigeria for the children of today. So there's still plenty of work to be done. You agree, right?
I agree, definitely.
If you become president, what have you thought about it? Like, what do you even have political ambition? Like,
I do.
You do?
You stated it clearly to become the president.
Ooh, Mr. President, President Majesty. I like the ring of it. It sounds nice. If you were president and then we have issues that we're dealing with children at this point in time, like present day Nigeria, you're all grown up and you were president. Top of your head, what's the first two things you think you're going to put up in terms of policies to addressing children issues?
To addressing children issues, the first thing I would do is basically we all have form teachers in schools to keep tabs on the students in their classes.
Yeah.
But mostly in government schools, we have a lot of children in a class. Like in my class, we are about 93.
Boy, that's a large class.
Yeah, in a single class. So it's really hard to keep tabs on children, how they are being affected by their peers. So one thing I would do is to regulate the amount of children in a class. So there are form teachers who are actually doing a good job but cannot deliver effectively because of the large population. And secondly, is to put stricter measures in play. These people that do bullying, they have a backstory. So trying to help them put policies, teachers, and even guidance and counseling measures. Today, the GNC in schools are just for show. They don't usually do a lot. But to actually counsel these students and tell them what is the reason you're doing this and how can we address that issue. So I think that's something I would do.
All right. Well, that's a large class, and I like the idea of just making it a bit more smaller. The teacher can really interact with the student, know them, even down to maybe not too personal. But
Yes,
if you have such a large class, how do you even rate their performance? You will just know the extremely brilliant one, and then the extremely dull one.
Exactly.
All the other bunch in between, you know nothing about them, and they are usually the noisemakers because you can't help them. All right, so we have the president's message, and you can join the conversation. Tell us what you think all of these institutions from the family, schools, community, and the government can do to build a safer, more nurturing Nigeria for our children, so that we don't get into the next generation of Nigerians who are still repeating the same cycle that we have gone through today. All right. So we'll go on a quick break in a bit, but let's look at what's the next story we're looking at, Joseph.
We'll be looking at APC endorsing Tinubu instead of addressing economic hardship, says Malami.
But before we get into the detail of the story, I'm curious, just a Majesty. Do you understand? I mean, I don't know if your parents talk about the economy. Maybe you want something like, you don't know the state of the economy. Did they bring something like that up?
They do.
And how do you usually respond to it?
Can you respond on issues I know I can talk about? Like relatable.
Like, for example, maybe you want something, a new sneaker. I don't know. I'm just creating a random scenario. I'm not saying that's what you've done. And you're like, oh, we can't get it. The economy is hard. There's no money, this inflation and all of that. Do you get to hear things like that, first off? Like when they tell you about the state of the economy, so you can't get some of these things.
Yes.
That's I want to know your reaction now. Do you like, oh, I understand. I'm Joseph Majesty, future president. I know the state of the economy. I'm going to fix it. Or you're like, man, just get me this thing. It's important that I have it right now. I'm a kid and I can't be bothered with it. How do you respond to it?
I would just be like, okay, since it's the state of the economy, when God provides.
Look at you. All right, so when God, this story is incomplete. I feel you're leaving something out, but let's get the detail of that story, though.
Okay, let me read the whole thing. So we have Abubakar Malami, former Attorney General of the Federation, has criticized chieftains of the All Progressive Congress, APC, for taking turns to endorse President Bola Tinubu's re-election bid. Malami spoke during a meeting organized by the National Political Consultative Group in Abuja on Sunday. The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, presidential candidate of Labour Party in 2023, and Chibike Amechi, former governor of Rivers State, were among opposition leaders who attended the meeting. The gathering was one in a series of consultative events by opposition leaders seeking to forge a coalition against Tinubu. In his keynote address, the ex-AFG said Tinubu's policies are crippling the economy, I beg your pardon, of northern Nigeria. Malami said rather than address the myriad challenges bedeviling the country, endorsing Tinubu for a second term in office has taken center stage in the ruling party. Just a few days ago, the ruling party held its national summit, and instead of addressing the serious issues of insecurity, economic hardship, and rising poverty, it chose to focus on politics, endorsing Bola Ahmed Tinubu as sole candidate for the 2027 election that is still 2 years away. Malami was quoted as saying this.
Well, the former AGF urged stakeholders to form a united front to reclaim the country and create a peaceful and prosperous Nigeria. You know, it's always quite interesting because he was former AGF and we can still recall how it was when he was actively in power. And if, you know, they were thoughtful of Nigerians, economic state, welfare, and all of that. It's easy to be opposition and just talk. Well, maybe not so easy because opposition is just doing such a shabby job of it in the country at the moment. But then there's something important, just a Majesty that I brought up, and the fact that, you know, it just feels like election is in 2027.
Yeah.
And already, if you walk on the street, there's this palpable political tension that is out there. It just feels as if next month we're going to the polls. Already we're thinking who are going to vote for, opposition or ruling party. And then the ruling party are already saying, oh, it's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and collectively we're seeing endorsement. And we're seeing certain party members who are saying, oh, Southeastern governors are working for him. These people are collapsing political party to align with the ruling party, and the opposition, they're still struggling with themselves, and we don't know where they're going with the coalition because they're still talking. And it just feels like, where is governance in all of these things? I can understand what he's saying, even though, you know, we have problem with messengers. We say take the message and forget the messenger. But, you know, in Nigeria, I'm very particular about messengers also. Because if they've had opportunity of being in power before and they didn't do much, all of a sudden you have seen the light. Now you know the right way to do something at the end of the day. So, yeah, it is concerning, actually, that we're focusing more on politics, isn't it? Do you follow political news? I know you're young,
Yes, I do.
but you do a lot.
I follow politics. News, yeah.
You follow the fact the election is coming. I mean, what's the thought that comes to your mind? You're a young Nigerian. And then when you think about this country and politics and all of that, I mean, just walk us through your mind for a few seconds. What comes to mind? What do you think about?
The first thing that comes to my mind is the unpredictability of Nigeria's political space. Today, you see members of the PDP going to the APC.
Yeah,
the
I
PDP is literally imploding.
Mm.
The APC, they are so confident they will win as if they will.
I know,
no
right?
election will be conducted.
I know, right?
So it's really just for us to sit and watch, and they do what they do.
It reminds me of a song. Sit down, look for TV, as Babu, they run the town. There's a danger to sitting and watch, Sometimes, Office of the Citizen calls for active participation, but what is that active participation? Even I don't have the answer. No, I have the answer. You need to engage. You need to be sure of the right people you're going to bring in. And that civic responsibility to know that, don't compromise your vote, to make sure that you believe in the individual and the political party that you're voting for. And there's no right or wrong. Sometimes we like to look, this political party is evil. I mean, you see another political party come, and then you've seen all the political parties, that they have similar problems. It's only certain individuals stand out in the pack. And they can't do it alone, honestly. You need, a number of people to do it all together. But there's something profound that you said, about the confidence that you're winning. And Nigerians believe that. I feel like it's a narrative that has been sold. And by default, people have come to that space where they say, it looks as if APC has this in the bag. Make we not even try again. Isn't that a problem? Because now people will now believe they've won it, and people might end up not coming for election and just take it already, it's yours.
Actually poses a problem.
Yeah, I can see that. So there needs to be more civic education to people to go out and vote. If you believe in this government of the day, you think they have the potential, you think they need more time, fine, give them your vote. But if you believe you need to have someone different, but who is the someone different depends on what is presented at the end of the day, fine. Make your choice, but make sure it's not being influenced by money, because, vote buying.
Yeah, it's really rampant.
It is. And people say because people are hungry. I mean, is poverty a good excuse to sell out on that level?
No, I definitely not.
Yeah, I know. But people are poor, people are hungry. Be like, man, let me just hold this one small.
Sell out 4 years just for a lunch.
Yep. You heard it from a young Nigerian. You sell out 4 years just for lunch. Doesn't sound right one bit. I am here co-anchoring the Big Three with Joseph Majesty. He was our winner for 2025 Back to Differ debate, and one of the 4 that will be representing the federal capital at the National later this year. And he is here for Children's Day special on Hard Facts as we look at some of the stories together. I'll try to open up the phone line in a bit, but there was a story we touched on yesterday, and that was the fact that certain organization establishments were sealed off yesterday. One of them being the PDP Secretariat overpayment of ground rent. FIRS was sealed off, and a few other organizations also. Well, the president decided to wade in, and I think he intervened, and they are giving them a grace period of 14 days. Can you give us that detail?
Okay. Here it says, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, to suspend the sealing of the premises of some properties in Abuja. Also, the FCT on Monday commended the sealing of over 4,000 properties in Abuja for non-payment of ground rent. Among the properties sealed on Monday were the People's Democratic Party National Secretariat and buildings occupied by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Access Bank, Total Energy, and Ibro Hotel, all located in Wuse Zone of the Federal Capital. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike had last Friday directed the FCTA to take possession of the revoked properties. However, in a statement on Monday evening, the FCT Director of Land Administration, Chijoke Wankoze, said President Tinubu had intervened, and that by the intervention, the owners of the properties now have 2 weeks to settle the outstanding ground rent with associated properties.
So they have 2 weeks?
Yeah, the president.
All right. So the president intervened, and he says 2 weeks to sort yourselves out and pay the ground rent. I know that they say the PDP National Secretariat had not paid ground rent for where their national headquarters is housed for 25 years, and that certain properties also have not paid between 10 to 43 years of their ground rent. And the thing is, most people don't even think about it. It's actually in the Land Use Act that even if you lease a property, you're entitled to it for 99 years. I want to say I don't buy land or I don't build house. It's a lease for 99 years. And aside from that, there's the law provide for something that you need to give, annually as part of your ground rent to pay for it. And a lot of people don't know about it because it's not really followed, it's not really enforced. But the FCT, you have a minister who has come on board and said, no, people have to be paying this ground rent. No excuses anymore. And we're seeing him take certain actions, which some people think it's vindictive against his own party because he's within the PDP. And then they were meant to have a National Executive Council meeting today, which the sealing of it kind of like affected. Well, if it's your own party where you belong, how are you sealing their secretariat? If you really care about our party, well, this man no send. This man no send. He's an interesting character. I hope, I'm not going to ask you that question. I'll put you on the spot. All right, people, let's open up the phone lines. Okay, is there more detail you want to add? Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a quote. Today, May 26, 2025, that's yesterday, we commenced enforcement on the 4,704 properties revoked for non-payment of ground rent from 10 to 43 years.
Yep.
Properties owned by government institutions, corporate organizations, and individuals were affected. This demonstrates the FCTA's commitment to carrying out its functions without fear or favor. However, the President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has intervened. Therefore, by Mr. President's intervention, holders of the affected properties now have 14 days to settle the outstanding ground rent stated by the statement.
And if they refuse, the defaulters will pay what?
Yeah, it says, for properties in the central area, the sum of 5 million naira will be paid by defaulters as penalty, in addition to the ground rent owed.
Those in Maitama Sokoro Wuse to Guzape district who paid a sum of 3 million naira as penalty in addition to their ground rent owed. And defaulters in Wuse, Gariki 1, Gariki 2 will pay 2 million naira as penalty in addition to their original debt, which is nobody wants to go further in debt at this point in time. Yeah. So what did PDP say actually? Scroll down a bit. Let's hear the statement.
Okay. Meanwhile, the PDP has reacted to the sealing of its headquarters by the FCTA, describing as the highest irresponsibility from this government. The party also dared the FCTA officials to arrest its members. The acting national chairman of the party, Oma-Benedi, spoke to journalists after a meeting of its national caucus at the Bauchi State Government Liaison House in Abuja. You are aware that our office has been sealed. This is the highest irresponsibility from this government. If they are encouraging it, we are not going to take it lightly. In fact, they can come and arrest all of us. We are ready for that, Mr. Damagum said. Mr. Wike is a member of the PDP.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's kind of like interesting, but he's been acting like he's not really in the PDP for a long time. And, you always have a family where you have one child that is the stubborn one. To show everybody shade to the gay in that house.
Yes.
The minister is I won't call him the black sheep. He's that interesting sheep, that unique one in the PDP that you like, either you guys shape up or I shape you up. And the PDP is having a difficult time with him at the moment. The acting national chairman of the party was the one who says, if you want to pick all of us, pick us up, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's get to the phone lines. We've looked at the three stories. Call us up on 0700 951 0000 or 0809 5974869. You can call via WhatsApp or send a voice note not longer than a minute, tops 1 minute 30 seconds. Longer than that, we're not taking it. And the number is 0809 9930 Joseph will help us read. Do we have WhatsApp open there? Is that WhatsApp open?
No.
Oh boy. Okay, I'll find a way for you to read the messages, but let's go to the phone lines. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kim.
Body, welcome.
Very well. And good afternoon to your guest. I hear your name was Kim.
His name is Joseph Majesty.
Actually. Kim, I think the law is meant to be advised. Somebody one who will always wake up and say everybody should follow the law and follow suit. I think what we can do now with hunting, but rather, nobody's above the law. Just like what you said, it's a ground rent that everybody has to pay. Because everybody feels at home, nobody wants to do the right thing. The abnormal has become normal in Nigeria. What we can do actually now, prepare every property in Abuja to own a fee of if you continue paying your ground rent. But people don't pay because nobody is holding nobody accountable for it. That is where the SCA generates revenue from. So what you're doing actually now is the right thing. It's not with hunting, but rather for people to know and do it well. But I have some, what would I say, setbacks. I went there this morning, I've been there since then, nobody attended to me. Because the AG, the FCD, people are going, but they're not getting the answers they want. This is so clear that people are outside, and I think FCD agents don't have the capacity to get out of people. I think we should not do that and go to the office and see what he can do by himself about that. Whoever is inside of it. I went there myself and I couldn't get the information I needed for the area council's property because it also says that.
All right, sir.
So, Kim, a lot is going on in that place. It has become like a marketplace.
Wow. So there's a lot going on there. It's like a marketplace. I can just imagine beehive of activity, and perhaps that chaotic nature can give room for, corners to be caught. I'm just saying. Can you read from there? Can you see clearly?
Yes.
Yeah? All right.
So, on Facebook?
Yep. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. You can check out how grown Joseph Majesty is. Maybe because he's looking all grown up because he's not in uniform. He's been coming in uniform, so he's looking like,
So, Obanike Paul on Facebook says, Tinubu is a father who tells his son to be patient, that he doesn't have money to pay his school fee, but to buy a new car the following day. APC is just terrible. Happy Children's Day. Okay? Osatu Emmanuel Obafemi says, let him face the mic and stop rolling the chair.
Oh boy, you even read the what? 1 minute, I think you put this off. Okay. All right, we're good. Go ahead. All right, let's see if we have on WhatsApp. Wonderful and encouraging conversation, Kim. I salute little Joseph Majesty from Hafsat. And Kim, you've rubbed off on this young boy. The anointing of the oracle is upon him. He's fully inaugurated. Well done, boy, says Tokwe. Can you see this one?
Yes, I can. Malami, APC is Tinubu. Tinubu, APC is Malami. They are of the same species. Good afternoon, ma.
Okay.
So, good afternoon, Kim and Majesty. Malami should not be the one telling us anything. These people always want to deceive people with their rhetorics, thinking that we are all fools. If Nigeria is a society where things are to be done properly, Malami should be behind the bar by now. And I also remember this man who always defended the government that destroyed the economy he is talking about today. In short, some of them are sectional figure. Instead of this man to be talking about Nigeria, he's busy talking about a section of the country. By Oludade Abiodun.
Quite interesting. We've got a voice message. Let's get to listen quickly to the voice message. It's taking forever.
Hello. My name is Tony. Yes, from Buhari. Honestly, I'm behind Wike. The man is not proving stubborn. He's not showing strength or power. But he wants to let us that, as we say, Nigeria is bad. Some people are still good. Yes, if he can do to his own party, that means good life starts from me. That is what he means. So I really 100% support him. Let the right thing be done. 25 years, is it 25 days? If it is personal something, you owe the landlord for 25 years, will he still allow you in the house? Thank you.
My name is Mr. Kingdom from Metama, Abuja. This issue of ex-minister, I'm getting tired of the whole thing. my blame is from the national chairman, who is even saying that if they want to arrest all of us, arrest us. Why is the PDP caucus or those who are in charge cannot suspend Wike? They should come out and tell us the reason. Is there anything that they're not telling us? We, the members of PDP, suspend him. Let heaven fall. Because he always says something like that. I want them to suspend Wike. Let us see what will happen. And the day they will suspend him, if he wants to attend the PDP meeting or NEC meeting uninvited, they should inform all of us who are supporters who will storm there and make sure that it didn't happen. Thank you. God bless you. Because the whole thing is tiring. Every time one person, who is he? Why is they keep talking about one person, make him so relevant? I pity this man when he want to fall. I don't think he will have a place to fall. He didn't know what he's doing to himself. He will live to regret this. Nigerians are watching him. Thank you.
All right, Nigerians are watching him. Who is he? This is the answer from that place. Who is he? FCT minister said that's how they will be criticizing when they see me that they want to take pictures. But I believe you, sir. I believe that you're not one of those people who want to take picture with him. You mean business, because it feels like he's already tired. Like, wicked is wicked, that wicked is. The other day, I don't know how much of the politics you followed before election, because I know you're busy with your studies and sometimes can't be bothered with Nigerian wahala. But as for future president, once in a while, be like, let me see what's going on in this country, sha. So before the 2023 election, they formed a G5 under the PDP, five governors. You know about that, right? And then they were the ones going around like, oh, we don't like the what PDP is doing. The chairman, are you sure we have problem with him? Atiku Abubakar, it's not our preferred choice and all of that. He should have come to the southern part of the country. And then they were doing all kinds of shady anti-party activity. And then he was friends with Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde. Only for yesterday, he say, Seyi Makinde is the problem of PDP. People that were like, you see your surprise? I was shocked myself. Like, you guys like our best buddies. Yeah, you form your gang of five. You know, like when you have like group, clique in school and all of that. They form their clique of five. And then the next thing he's saying, Seyi Makinde is the problem of PDP because he wanted to retain one man as national secretary of the party. The role of national secretary is big. It's almost bigger than even the chairman of the party. People really don't know that. So he wanted Samuel Anyanwu. Seyi Makinde, they agreed though, like, oh, let's have a meeting, let's agree. They now agreed, and then he now says Seyi Makinde, the governor for your state, now is now working with another group of people to get somebody else. And he's now angry, like, oh, the person we agreed on, why are you now taking someone else? So he stormed out of one meeting like that, and since then, shortly after that, we had their secretariat sealed. You see? It's easy to do two and two.
Boil down to what I said previously, that political space in Nigeria is very unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Indeed it is. But you know what? Some people say so much change, but it still remains the same. It's unpredictable, yet you can almost predict. The politicians, the script they use is almost stale. It's the same antics. They try to do so much, but it's the same outcome. At the end of the day, be like, no, be Nigerian politician, you can almost predict them. So if we're to debate on this, you stay on your side, I stay on my side. I will beg to differ about that. All right, let's hear you next. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Adela Victor from Majesty.
Adela Victor, go ahead.
As a matter of fact, I want PDP to do this. 2 weeks now. You see, that party ruled the country for 16 years. And I wonder why they own such amount. See, let them contribute money and they cover their shame. In fact, where is the money they make for 16 years? So then as for the children, please, I want the federal government to declare a state of emergency in the region, especially school level. In fact, when we get it wrong from the foundation, we're not going to get it at the top. It's enough from the primary level to the second level. And government has no at the primary school level, at the secondary level, to help the children, to help the poor report in one of the videos today, 18 million are out of school. In fact, this is alarming. So government will do something fast. Let them invest in education, the technical education research, and let them carry out reform, good reform. All these policy formats, let them stop, so that the education sector will move on. There are a lot of work in that. It was a big embarrassment. They have put thousands of students into technological reform. I said, but if I the federal government must be ready to take control. When you want to follow the system, let them be fired, so that we remove the education sector. We cannot continue like this. Our education sector has become over-commercialized, cash and carry system. In fact, we cannot continue like this as a nation if we want to develop. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate your good night focus. Just to confirm what the last caller said about Aegis, the place is like a marketplace. Aegis doesn't have the capacity to handle people that come in there daily for their business. So it's just reiterating what the other caller said. And you know, when you have a place that is almost chaotic and you're not sure which department to go, and they tell you go here, and there are just so many people at the same time, half the time, it gives room for some shady, corrupt practice to go on. And the other half, it makes the process painfully slow, complex, and frustrating. Because now you'll now be looking for who you want to sort. You know, it happens. I don't know how much of it. I don't want to ruin your innocence right now. But since you want to be future president, it's important that we start to let you understand how bad this situation is. I don't want to hear, I'm not aware that it was this bad. Don't try it. You hear?
Yes, sir.
Good. So, now that you are aware, these are some of the things. We have complex things that if we simplify it and make it like online, you just engage online and do certain things and go for verification somewhere. It simplifies the process. No corruption. You don't have to sort anybody. You would even want to engage with the system. But when you know that it's so chaotic and you waste time and all of that, you're now looking for who would help you. Before you know, one person will go and do one documentation and then you get into trouble. There are people who said, they've gone here to do documentation and verify. And then they come out of it with either something that is fraudulent or fake or something at the end of the day. So this gives room for that. Let's hear this caller. Hello?
Kim, good afternoon.
Welcome to the show.
Justice Office.
Go ahead, Justice Office.
You,
why are you not greeting future president? Joseph Majesty.
I greet you, my brother. I greet you very well.
You're not greeting him back?
Yeah.
Good
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon, bro. So, as I was saying, from the day, I'm not surprised at what is going on in PDP. For me, from the day Obasanjo got his membership card, 2014, I knew that something was wrong. And you can see from that day, everything that is going on in PDP is driving PDP backward. And it marvels me also, and it's a big lesson that people like Wike, whom PDP pick from like crash, from nobody. These are people that just finish school, no PDP. They come under the umbrella. The umbrella share them, preserve them, provide for them, make them great at the one. It makes me to believe that anybody who believes in politicians, in fact, is just on his own. If PDP people, all these didn't me like who were they in Saraki? They were nobody. You can't even go to the account and find anything as of them.
Oga. Were you the account officer? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Because if the FCC calls now, I don't want to hear about Kim knew what I was talking about. I do not know what you're talking about. I don't know what the account was before. I just know that maybe they were not half as wealthy. But you're very specific. If you go to the account, then, like, you used to work in the bank. Did you drop your mic? I chased him when I mentioned the FCC. All right, you can come back. I will not call you FCC again. All right, let's hear someone else.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Lukman.
Lukman.
Calling from Germany.
Okay. Good afternoon, Lukman.
How are you?
I'm fine. What do you have to tell us?
Okay. I want to react to Malami
Okay.
advice. I want to tell him that he should be the last person to advise us. I wish Nigeria is a normal country where the government is normal in the way they claim to be fighting bad things like corruption. If Buhari is giving 40 years, Malami should also take like 27 years because he was the one who misled Buhari in many ways. Number one, he misled Buhari to take away the power of EFCC to be given to presidency. Before it was not like that. So under Magu, all the property seized his acts were on them, and they later transfer it today. We don't know how they did all the recovered loot. Then the worst one he did, he misled Buhari to go and sell our crude oil front, among other corrupt, practices under Buhari. So I know it is because Buhari have pleaded on their behalf not to be exposed, unlike Emefiele, who is on his own. That was why you see that they are not touching people like Adisirika, Sedia Umaru, Malami. Otherwise, none of them can ever go scot-free when it comes if we are to do our investigation, and we'll be shocked that they even are more than Emefiele. So he has nothing to tell us. He should go and he should just go and he's the worst Attorney General of the Federation that we have seen. He doesn't even know his job at all. So what is he advising us? So that, and then for PDP and Wiki.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so you see what I told you, just Her Majesty. We also look at messengers. You might have a good message, but we'll always look at you, Nko, when you were in government. Did you try to fix it? When you were in the position of power, did you try to address it? So all of a sudden, you now see the rot. You now see the systemic failure when it was evident even where you were in government and you did very little about it.
Yes.
So it's a problem. All right. So there are a lot of messages, but we need to take a quick break and wrap this up. But just Her Majesty, it's been amazing having you. Children's Day edition on the Big Three.
Thank you very much. It's a real privilege to be here. Thank you for this opportunity.
Delighted to have you here, and looking forward to you. I'm sure we'll call you back as we prepare for the national debate, as you go with the other team to represent the federal capital. I hope you're mentally preparing yourself for that.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Yeah. Someone sent a message, says, Kim, I'm really impressed by students in the studio. I'd like to send him a gift. Ooh, he should be encouraged to do this more. I'd like to have his details. Says Kingsley. Now, let me tell you who Kingsley is. One of the judges from NOSC 100 Naira AD school. Oh. Yeah, not her, but the husband. Oh. Yeah, so apparently he's listening. I'm like, all right, that's nice.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. And they're doing great with their school, ensuring that children get an education. So for kids who are from, backgrounds that cannot afford to pay staggering amount, either in private or government schools, then they'll say, okay,
take 100 naira per day.
Yeah, so people support that and get the children an education, because education is important.
Yes.
All right. Any final message you have for us, Joseph Majesty? Children around the world.
My final message will be to have fun and reflect on this day, the challenges we face as children and how to address them. So as children, we know about the next generation, future leaders. So we should work on ourselves, reflect on what we have to do, reflect on the future. Don't be bothered about what is happening now. Because if you give attention to this, you will have a real headache. Just think about the future and what you can contribute to make your country better. That's my statement.
All right. A powerful one of that. Thank you very much. Joseph Majesty is from Government
Day
Secondary School, Carroll. And he won the prize money at the 2025 Abeg to Differ debate. And we're representing the federal capital in Lagos. It's been a delight. Handshake.
Thank you very much.
I will let it be known that I shook your hand now, so that in future when you become president, like, remember, when I shook your hand, let me hear that you forgot. All right, Dorcas is standing by for the news at the top of the hour. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with more. Stay with us.
This is Nigeria Info.